What's driving consumer interest away from EVs? Demand has slowed down even though sales of electric vehicles in the United States are increasing. According to a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center in July 2023, 50% of American adults believe that they are not likely to consider purchasing an electric vehicle, and 13% are certain that they do not want one. In fact, according to the survey, the share of the public interested in acquiring an EV is down 4% from May 2022. According to analysts, the primary drivers are concerns regarding affordability and a lack of confidence in the infrastructure for charging electric vehicles. However, automobile manufacturers also face another challenge when it comes to convincing consumers to abandon the combustion engine. Drivers in the United States do not believe that a new electric vehicle could be a complete replacement for their existing vehicle. It is not that people in the United States are against electric vehicles in and of themselves. Rather, it is that the vast majority of consumers desire electric vehicles that can travel the same distance on a single charge as they can take on a full tank of gas. In addition, buyers are less inclined to shrink their automobiles to switch to electric vehicles in a country where pickup trucks and huge SUVs are the most popular vehicles. A demand for road trip readiness. The driving range of an electric vehicle is one of the most significant factors that Americans cite as a reason for their reluctance to purchase one. According to a survey conducted by Bloomberg in May 2023, American drivers want their EV to be able to travel at least 300 miles, 482 kilometers on a single charge, and less than 10% of them would be content with a vehicle that could not travel at least 200 miles, 322 kilometers. While the EV range has more than doubled since the first vehicles debuted over a decade ago, most have not met that 300-mile threshold. In addition, electric vehicles that advertise a potential range of more than 250 miles, 402 kilometers, might not be able to travel that far in actual use. Several factors can significantly diminish its range, including the use of heat or air conditioning, driving in the rain or against a headwind, driving at greater speeds, or sitting in traffic that is constantly moving without stopping. The preoccupation with mileage, on the other hand, may be inappropriate considering that the average distance traveled by Americans when they are behind the wheel is not quite as far as one might expect. More than half of all daily travels, regardless of the mode of transportation, were less than 3 miles, 4.8 kilometers, according to a study that was conducted by the United States Bureau of Transportation Statistics in the year 2022. Just 2% of the distances were longer than 50 miles, 80.4 kilometers. The concept of the open road may be too powerful to force drivers to make a decision. Even if the majority of travel is local, people in the United States want to know that they can embark on a journey of epic proportions if they so want. Hobson also mentions the lack of faith that customers have in the charging process. Charger infrastructure and dependability have lagged, and Hobson thinks Americans would rather know their vehicle can drive several hundred miles in a period than risk being stuck. If you don't have home charging, he further points out there are issues around road trips and how to charge, where to charge, or when to charge. According to him, buyers may be simply waiting for the next generation of batteries that are all quick charging, or for charging infrastructure that guarantees a working charger at least every 200 miles or so. A recent study conducted by S&P revealed that among individuals who do adopt an electric vehicle, a number of them experience a significant amount of dissatisfaction. It was found in the poll that nearly half of households that possess a non-Tesla electric vehicle EV decide to purchase a gas-powered automobile shortly. However, the survey did not include the drivers of Teslas, which predominate the market. Bigger's still better. According to Hobson, they have produced certain electric vehicles and said you can do 350 miles in this, you can go off-roading, it's as big a vehicle as you want, and you can fit this many people in it. There are other benefits associated with these vehicles. Even though the technology is a marvel, the engineering requires the battery to be this size, it must weigh this much, and the price must be this much. From an energy point of view, the fact of the matter is that they are simply consuming energy differently. GM's reprint of the Hummer, a huge SUV that was retired from its combustion engine form in 2010, may be the most notable example of this phenomenon. That vehicle was decommissioned in 2010. It weighs close to 10,000 pounds, 4539 kilograms, and the new electric vehicle variant has a range of up to 381 miles, 613 kilometers. The weight of the battery alone amounts to the same as that of a complete Toyota Corolla. A research organization that is not-for-profit called the American Council for an Electricity-Efficient Economy discovered that the Hummer EV releases as much or more greenhouse gas than a standard-sized automobile. This is because the battery requires lithium to be charged, and the electricity grid is used to charge the battery. Even though other larger electric vehicles, such as Ford's F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck, demonstrated early promise and appeal, sales have slowed to a crawl. This is because customers have discovered that using an electric truck in the same manner that they use a gas or diesel-powered truck, for example by towing, can reduce the truck's range by at least one-third. According to Russell Hensley, co-lead of the Center for Future Mobility in the Americas at the consulting firm McKinsey & Company, a significant number of people in the United States are simply waiting for a more advanced electric vehicle EV option in the truck or vehicle category, or perhaps they are waiting for a particular manufacturer to release an electric vehicle EV version of a particular model. You haven't got the full suite of vehicle choices at this point, according to him. And while this is going on, a significant percentage of people are thinking, well, we'll just take one more internal combustion engine before we pivot. A wave of change on the horizon. Adoption will eventually climb and electric vehicles will take over, according to Hensley, regardless of whether or not cars that meet the requirements of the American people ever join the market. According to him, the wave of change is on its way, and it is impossible to ignore the generational gaps that exist when it comes to acceptance of that wave. A recent survey conducted by McKinsey & Company found that millennials, defined as individuals between the ages of 25 and 40, are 3 times more likely than baby boomers, who are individuals older than 56 years old, to switch car brands to obtain a vehicle that provides improved connectivity. Furthermore, millennials are 7 times more likely to switch to obtain improved autonomous driving features. In essence, according to Hensley, the findings are indicative of the baby boomer generation's reluctance to adapt to new circumstances and their hesitancy to allow brand new technology to disrupt their way of life, particularly in comparison to younger people. I think there is a fundamental difference there just in terms of expectations out of a vehicle, he adds in response. On the other hand, younger customers are more receptive to a paradigm change in the way that they think about cars and driving. To put it another way, they might not anticipate that an electric vehicle will be able to perform all of the functions that a gas-powered vehicle is capable of. They might, on the other hand, be willing to transform their lives around the technology rather than expecting the technology to conform to the way they already conduct their lives. Right now, the people who can most easily go out and buy an electric vehicle, says Hensley, referring to the baby boomers, who currently control 70% of the discretionary income in the United States, are the ones with the least willingness to change. This is not going to be the case all the time. He predicts that the electric vehicle market share will increase in tandem with the growing purchasing power of millennials and younger generations. He goes on to say that the most important question that remains unresolved is whether America's aspirations or the automobiles themselves are the ones that need to adapt in the meantime. Would you like it? Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.